The biggest thing that's standing in the way of your weight loss is actually something that you probably want to be doing, but you're not because you think you shouldn't. What you need to be doing is occasionally taking a diet break. Now, I am not talking about cheat meals. Cheat meals can actually be quite detrimental. The only real benefit that comes from a cheat meal is the emotional aspect. And I'm all about that. Occasionally letting your hair down and having a cheat meal for the sake of just letting your brain relax is perfectly fine. But having a cheat meal as a means of trying to restore or rev up your metabolism is kind of a moot point. It doesn't happen that fast. So let's break down exactly what I mean, and I'll give you a perfect play-by-play that you can follow so you don't fall victim to this impeding your weight loss. Now, after today's video, I want you to check out a synbiotic called Seed. If you're doing something different with your diet, like you're going through weight loss or you're trying to increase calories or decrease calories, taking care of your microbiome is really, really important. Now, I'm not a big fan of pushing supplements. I typically don't. I don't really consider probiotics a supplement because in this particular case, as a synbiotic, this is very unique bacteria, very unique probiotics. So what it is it's a synbiotic, so it has a prebiotic and a probiotic in one capsule. And when you're changing your diet, it's important to regulate as much as you can your microbiome because it's going to help you sort of restore bacteria that might get lost when you are void of different nutrients and things like that. So the link down below is going to get you a 15% off discount link for Seed, that synbiotic. Again, I don't usually push supplements very much, but I think this is relevant for people that are trying to develop a healthier lifestyle. I think not everyone gets their fiber in, not everyone gets the fruits and vegetables and things that are going to contribute to a healthy microbiome. So I think that it is something that there is a place for most people. So that link is down below. Again, it saves you 15% off your order through Seed after this video. So what you need to do is take a diet break, a proper diet break. A diet break doesn't mean that you take a month off from your diet and you go eat cakes and funnel cakes and shovel whipped cream down your face. That's not what I'm talking about at all. I'm talking about a strategic break. Now, let me explain some research here, and this will make some sense, and it'll also motivate the ever-living heck out of you. The International Journal of Obesity published a 16-week study, okay, and it was caloric restriction, so people that were just restricting calories for 16 weeks, or people that were restricting calories for 16 weeks, but every couple of weeks they took a diet break where they ate at maintenance levels. What that means is they didn't go and indulge and binge, they ate a little bit more than what they were doing on their normal diet. So for a week or two, they would increase their calories by about 30% and eat at maintenance level. Results after 16 weeks were unbelievable. The intermittent group, the group that took diet breaks, ended up losing 4.3 more kilograms of weight than the group that did straight up caloric restriction. Now the flabbergasting part of this is the group that did regular caloric restriction without diet breaks. Their resting metabolic rate decreased 389 calories more than the group that took diet breaks. That means at rest, they were burning almost 400 calories less than the same group that, mind you, lost more weight and took diet breaks. This is good news, because if I'm trying to restrict calories, I don't want to do that forever. I'd love to take a break. And it turns out that long-term and somewhat short-term, the diet break seems to help. And then there was another study published in the British Journal of Nutrition that found that diet breaks not only help with fat loss more, but they also help with insulin resistance more. So the groups that took the diet breaks ended up had better improvements in insulin resistance than the groups that just calorically restricted for a long period of time. Okay, well, let's talk about this. How does this look for you? Like, what should you do? Because definitely, this is something that's going to help you lose weight in a more effective fashion without crushing your metabolism. Caloric restriction works, but it works with a serious, serious casualty, and that is your calories are restricted for the rest of your life if you want to do that. So what you want to do is every 4 to 8 weeks, you can kind of vary it and test it out. You want to take a 2-week break, okay? Minimum 1 week, but 2-week break. And what you want to do is you want to take the calories that you're currently at, okay? Find a way to kind of figure out how much you're eating on your diet, okay? And you want to increase that up to your maintenance. What you would be eating to maintain the current weight that you're at. Now, I know that can be hard to determine because you don't know what your metabolism is at your current weight. but I can give you some examples to sort of help you, and you can at least ballpark it. Let's say you were 200 pounds and you're trying to get to 150, okay? At 200 pounds, maybe you were eating 3,000 calories and you were not losing weight, okay? So then you reduced down to 2,500 calories. At 2,500 calories, you did that for a few months and you got yourself down to 150 pounds. That's purely hypothetical, probably wouldn't happen that way. Okay, you're at 150 pounds now. You don't want to go right back up to 3,000 calories, because if you went back up to 3,000 calories, that's where your body was happy at 200 pounds. So your body would put you right back to 200 pounds pretty quick. So you don't want to do that. You want to say, wait a minute, I'm losing weight at 2,500 calories, but I need to pump the brakes. So what would you do? Find middle ground. Go to 2,750, right? You get what I'm saying here? You want to find that middle ground of where you have been. That's going to make it so that you're not going too high on your calories, but you're also not a runaway train on your overall caloric restriction. And you do this for a simple 2 weeks. You might gain a pound or two. You might. You probably won't realistically. And then when you go back to caloric restriction again, the weight will fall off a lot better. You're taking a diet break and you're not going into a surplus. You're going into maintenance level so that your body has time to acclimate and doesn't just become a runaway train of making sure that you go into starvation mode. You don't want that to happen. This can also make it so you're preserving your sex hormones. You're not crashing your testosterone. You're not crashing your estrogen. When you start restricting calories too aggressively, you crash your estrogen levels, which definitely makes you feel fatigued and makes you feel bad. Low testosterone is one thing, but when you start crushing estrogen, joint pain comes to be, you get sick all the time. It's just not fun. You don't want to be doing that. So then what you want to do over time is you continually seesaw this. Okay? You lose more weight, and then you bump it up a little bit for a couple of weeks. You lose some more weight, you bump it up for a couple of weeks, then you do it again, you rinse and you repeat. Another thing that you can do to make it more realistic for you is adopt sort of some intermittent fasting practices. The reason that I like doing intermittent fasting with this is because it allows you to have periods of higher calories with aggressive periods of lower calories. But you're never doing this. You're doing this, and you're slowly coming down with these spikes. This is better for the metabolism as you're consistently having higher peaks and lower lows without just this chronic low level. So by adopting these principles all together, you ensure that your metabolism can stay where it needs to be. The other thing that you want to make sure that you do, as I mentioned in many videos, is keep protein as high as possible. Okay, when you are restricting calories, there is some evidence that as long as protein is high and you are stimulating the muscle, you will retain muscle mass, or at least more than if you didn't. And muscle is one of the biggest drivers of our metabolism and one of the biggest drivers of insulin sensitivity. So this makes it so longer term from a metabolic standpoint, you maintain the weight that you have lost because you're not internally metabolically trying to get to a different weight. So as always, keep it locked in here on my channel. I'll see you tomorrow.